Camera 1 ready. Camera 2, state your status. Displacement occurs when an object changes in location from one spot to another, while distance is the path you travel to get somewhere. Christina's total displacement was 0 because she ended up in the same location as she started in. She traveled a distance of 13 steps, but when the vectors of her journey are added, they end up in the same place, and the direction vectors cancel each other out. Uniform motion is when an object is maintaining constant speed and direction. This is also known as constant velocity. Right now, the car is passing the equally distanced intervals in the same amount of time for each one. But once the object increases velocity or changes direction, it's considered non-uniform motion because it's accelerating. The car is now experiencing uniform acceleration. It is traveling at equally distanced intervals, but the time spent at each one is changing at the same rate. Now we are undergoing uniform circular motion. The car is traveling with a constant speed around the circular roundabout with a constant radius, since the angle is changing at a constant rate. We are accelerating because our velocity is changing direction as we go around, as you can tell by the changing scenery throughout the clip. This is known as centripetal acceleration. The acceleration is always directed towards the center of the circle. This is different from linear acceleration, where direction of acceleration is constant, but the speed changes. The tangent at any point of the circle is the car's instantaneous velocity at that point, and it is perpendicular to the instantaneous acceleration towards the middle of the circle. Projectile motion occurs when an object flies through the air without the aid of any lift or propulsion. In all of our examples in class, the velocity in the x component was constant. However, in real life, this is not the case due to air resistance. The vertical and horizontal components will always be independent of each other. The vertical component will have an acceleration of 9.8 meters per second squared down towards the Earth due to gravity. In this first example, Kate experienced projectile motion and traveled at a parabolic arc because she was launched at an angle. This example only shows the ball being displaced in the vertical component. Here, the football had an initial velocity of 0. The launching and landing positions were also at different heights, which resulted in different initial and terminal velocities. But if the launching and landing positions were at the same height, the initial and terminal speeds would be the same due to the parabolic arc.
Newton's first law is that of inertia. An object's inertia is its ability to resist a change in motion. This is based on Newton's first law. When an object's net force is 0, it will maintain that state of rest at a constant velocity until something disturbs its motion. This is displayed with the water bottle. As the car accelerates forward, the bottle falls backwards. Since the bottle is stable at first, due to its inertia, when the car accelerates, the bottle resists the forward acceleration and falls backwards. Developing from his first law, Newton's second law relates to when an object's net force is not 0. As demonstrated by the accelerating car, an object will travel in the direction of the net force.
I don't get Newton's third law of motion. It literally doesn't make any sense.
But Susie, you literally just did it.
What?
When you pushed forward on the table pushed backwards on you with this force that's equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. Therefore, action-reaction pair. But since the table is like a larger mass, it pushes you backwards. Do you know what I mean?
Oh my god, yeah!
Yeah, easy.
Thanks.
An object's motion can vary depending on the frame of reference the object is observed from. Looking at the Buzz Lightyear action figure, its motion is different from different viewpoints. From Christina's point of view, the figure is stationary / at rest. From Kate's frame of reference, the figure is moving towards her. From Susie's frame of reference, it is moving to the right. It is because the frames of reference are different that the figure can be described in different ways. Therefore, an object's motion can change relative to the frame of reference.
Friction is a force that opposes or prevents motion. This is due to the intermolecular forces between two rough surfaces at points where they come to contact. There are 4 types of friction: static, sliding, rolling, and fluid friction. The atoms are so interlocked that they cannot slip apart. The object remains at rest until enough force is applied to overcome static friction. Susie didn't apply enough force to overcome it. This example shows a piece of tape falling off because static friction is trying to keep it in place. The bowl accelerates underneath the tape due to the applied force, and it undergoes sliding friction, but the tape stays in place. Susie is using socks with grips. This increases the amount of friction on the floor and prevents her from sliding. But when she wears regular socks, they slide because the intermolecular forces are not as locked as they were in the first example, and the coefficient of friction is lower. Rolling friction is the force of resistance when an object rolls across the ground. This type of friction is typically a combination of several friction forces at the point of contact between the object and the ground or other surfaces. The force that a fluid, such as air in this case, exerts on a body moving through it is called fluid friction.
Hooke's law is related to the motion of springs. Hooke's law states that the force created by a spring is directly proportional to the distance the spring is moved from equilibrium. This is demonstrated commonly through cleaning liquid spray bottles. Many spray bottles utilize springs to eject cleaning liquid from openings. Hooke's law also applies here. We can see that the first clip, the spring only displaces a short distance. This produces a small amount of dots. In the second clip, as the spring was displaced more, this created a larger force, ejecting more liquid, producing a bigger display of dots. Damping is the periodic motion of an object caused by friction. It is commonly seen as vibrations that slow down over time. There are 3 types of damped harmonic motion. Firstly is over-damped harmonic motion. This is demonstrated by objects that return to the equilibrium point slowly without passing this equilibrium point. This is commonly found in anti-sand cabinets and drawers, since they slowly move back to their closed position after an initial force. Secondly, under-damped harmonic motion is performed by objects that pass their equilibrium points before coming to rest. This is commonly found in pendulum objects, but also can be seen in objects like guitar strings, where vibrations go back and forth about the equilibrium point. Lastly, critical damped harmonic motion is found in springs that return to their equilibrium points quickly. Toasters use critical damping when ejecting freshly toasted bread or other breakfast items.
A larger mass, it pushes you backwards. Do you know what I mean?
Oh my god, yeah!
Yeah, easy.
Thanks. I found out that I have the same toothbrush as whoever's toothbrush is.
That's my toothbrush. Nice job.
Thank you. This actually works. Nice.
Is it going?
Do you think it's gonna fall?
As long as you don't push on the table. Oh, wait.
As long as you don't put it on the table. Oh, wait.
I think it was recording,
That was hilarious. That was so sarcastic, man.
I'm in position.
Okay, wait, I'm not.
Okay, I'm recording. You're not.